Have you ever shared a great idea only to find that others didn't get it? You're not alone. This was exactly what happened to mogul and entrepreneur Jamie Siminoff, the founder of Ring. His video doorbell company made headlines when it was acquired by Amazon in 2018 for over $1 billion. But before Ring was installed on millions of front doors around the world, it was almost derailed by a single bad pitch on Shark Tank, a TV show where entrepreneurs talk up their company to a panel of investors. In fact, when Jamie went on the show in 2013 to pitch his company, then called Doorbot, every single shark passed on the opportunity to invest, despite strong early sales and traction. What happened? The answer lies not in the information Siminoff presented, but in how he presented it. Virtually every tiny signal or cue Siminoff shared through his body language, vocal modulation, and pitch undermined his credibility. He all but told the sharks to stay away. Siminoff had a great idea with huge potential, but with the wrong cues, it crashed and burned. Those cues spoke even louder than his billion-dollar idea. Let's go through Siminoff's pitch step by step so you can see exactly where his cues went wrong. Siminoff began his pitch with a knock on the door to the Shark Tank. "Who's there?" tech investor and shark Mark Cuban asked. Siminoff replied from behind the closed door, "It's Jamie?" This was Siminoff's first cue, or miscue. Instead of stating his name, he asked it. This is an example of a question inflection, also known as uptalk. Research has found that when the question inflection is accidentally used in a statement, it signals low confidence and insecurity. When the question inflection is used with a statement, it causes the listener's brain to question the speaker's credibility. The brain says, if you aren't confident in what you just said, why should I be? Making things worse, Siminoff used the question inflection a second time. "Here to pitch?" Repeating this cue reinforced his lack of confidence, and he hadn't even started the pitch yet. Not a great first impression. When the door finally opened, Canadian entrepreneur Robert Herjavec gave Siminoff a cue of his own, a fake smile. A genuine smile reaches all the way to the upper cheeks, activating the crow's feet on the sides of your eyes. A fake smile appears only on the bottom half of the face. Herjavec's fake smile should have signaled Siminoff to change tack. If he'd caught it, he could have worked to build rapport with Herjavec. He didn't, and Herjavec passed on the idea. When Siminoff finally began his official pitch, things seemingly moved back in his favor. He fielded questions from the sharks on everything from market size to pricing. Mark Cuban even gave him a "good for you" when Siminoff shared that he had over $1 million in sales. Throughout, however, the cues passing back and forth told a very different story about Siminoff's chances. 3 minutes in, Cuban pulled the corners of his mouth down into what looks like a frown, but is actually a mouth shrug. This cue signals disbelief or doubt. It's a sign that someone feels disconnected or indifferent. Researchers believe this is because the position of the mouth makes it impossible to speak. It's a nonverbal way of indicating a lack of interest in responding, and therefore a bid to terminate the exchange of information. Cuban was telling Siminoff, "I'm done here." Instead of seizing that moment to address Cuban's disbelief, Siminoff barreled along obliviously. If he'd registered Cuban's cue, he could have addressed his doubt with a simple acknowledgement. "Mark, I see that you're skeptical. Let me share some data with you." But Siminoff could only hear the words, "good for you," and missed the underlying nonverbal message. A few minutes later, Cuban pulled out of the deal.